Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to the comedy extravaganza that is The Adventures of E. Strap yourselves in because in this podcast we dive into hilarious personal stories, mishaps, and everyday life. From the awkward encounters at the grocery store to trying to adult in a world that seems determined to trip us up at every turn. So whether you're listening during your commute or just kicking back with a cup of coffee, get ready to laugh until your sides hurt. Here's your host, Elissa.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm so excited to be here. It's been literally forever, and I'm sorry about that.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, that's Jason.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Whoopsies.
Yeah, this is your podcast. I'm just
That's
hanging
right,
out. I'm
right.
like the comedic relief. And,
Oh, yeah.
like I just help. You know.
You just help. Okay.
Do all the
Anyway,
things.
okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So yes, it's been a minute. We've had a lot of life going on, and I think it's been healthy and good for us to go to kind of this bi-weekly schedule and whatnot. I know that we've had a few people kind of bitch and gripe at us, but that's okay.
I've needed it
Yeah,
for my mental health. I've actually had a couple people reach out, though,
yeah.
and said, hey, like on that previous episode, not the reruns,
Yeah.
but, you sounded more with it and like better, like I rested, I guess is
Right.
the word I'm looking for. And I have been a little bit.
Yeah, somewhat. But no, the previous releases, like I've been super excited about because those were originally when we were testing and
Yeah.
starting to do this as a video format.
We never really expected them to see the light of day.
Yeah, and I just was like, you know what? They actually were pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Let's release them and let's give some people some extra content and some stuff to look at. And
Yeah. So part of
so,
our
yeah.
life that has changed is we said we'd never get a puppy again. And what
Oh,
do? We
Jesus.
got a puppy.
yeah, we got another fucking puppy.
And so it's been a wild ride,
Yeah,
to say the least.
yeah.
So we have Opie May, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
She is half lab, half Burmese mountain dog.
Yep. Half lab, half Bernese mountain dog. Yep.
And she's very sweet.
Very, yes.
But the other assholes are assholing.
Yeah, and I mean, she has her moments where she's a
puppy.
yeah, and she's a piranha, as you like to
I'm
say.
a piranha.
Yeah, just kind of like this thing,
And also, I acted like, oh my God, what is her name from Finding Nemo?
Dory.
No,
I don't know.
the niece, Darla, where she
Oh.
goes, I'm a piranha.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry, I got excited.
Yep, I'll make sure to close up that one.
You're a dick.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, go on.
Got to give people what they want.
Right. Okay. And
They're
that's
here-
it.
They're here to see you.
That's it.
But now, here's the other thing, though.
That's why your camera angle is better than mine, though, right?
My camera angle is not better
It
than
is.
mine. No.
Ladies and gents, I need you to
No.
weigh in. His camera angle is 20 million times better than mine.
Nope.
And I need you to tell him.
No, it has nothing to do with the camera angle. I am
Okay.
just less pale. I'm just saying, I am less pale. I have a little bit more tan in my skin.
Damn. First of all, shots fired. Second of all, that escalated so quickly.
Hey, speaking of shots fired, look at your t-shirt. Uncle Snoop.
The shirt's way too big. And
Yeah.
Jason keeps going, that's the size of a pimp shirt. That's
That
what
is-
it's supposed to be.
That's a pimp shirt. It's
Oh my
supposed to
God.
be loose.
Stop it. Anyway,
Pimping ain't
back.
easy.
let's go back.
What are we circling back
I don't
to?
remember. You were talking.
Oh, I don't know what
I
you're talking
cut
about.
you off.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either.
Yeah, no, we were talking about camera angles and how you think that for some reason I have a better camera angle, which I totally do not.
And then right before that, we were talking about Opal and
Yeah.
her being a piranha.
Yeah, so she's a good dog. We kind of, I don't know, like just kind of in a way, I don't want to say lucked into her because it was kind of
It was,
unlucky,
but it wasn't.
lucky. Yeah, because we weren't necessarily really wanting to pick
No.
up another dog.
No,
but I
but
know
she was going to go to a shelter. And then when I met her, and that still even didn't deter me because they can still find good homes in a shelter.
for sure. Yeah, especially a puppy like that with that
Yeah.
demeanor. Yeah,
And so until she came over and all of her siblings were going crazy, and
Yeah.
she sat down, literally leaned on my leg and sighed. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go.
yeah. We were there all of like 3 minutes, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Yep." I was like, "Oh, okay."
You're like, so this is happening.
I'm like, "Shit."
It's happening.
Yep. Because the big thing is I wanted to make sure that this time around when we got another animal that it bonded with you as the primary connection point, not, like the rest of the dogs, like the one for mom and, then Lila
Yeah.
with me when she was intended to be everybody's. And
Yeah.
Harley's kind of like a cat. And
Yeah, she'll just love on whoever's going to love on her.
yeah, she doesn't
She don't
really
care.
give a shit. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, there's that. And then I had a string of bad luck at work, before I even got to work there for about a week.
Yeah.
So, kids fuck your whole life up. Let's be honest. They do. They
Yeah.
fuck your body up too. And this is what happened. I'm driving to work, and I had some water. Too much water, apparently, on my way to work, and I had to stop and get gas.
Water is good. Okay.
That was weird.
Mhm.
And so I drove the whole almost hour, went to get gas,
Mhm.
get out, and it's cold, and suddenly I have to pee. And when I have to pee, I have to pee. So I'm in the middle of pumping my gas, and I was like, that's fine. Like, I'll just run in, because I've got to go. But, like, I had to, brace myself. I don't know if you fellas ever have to do that or not.
Like clench it.
Like, when you're on the verge and you're like, okay, I can walk now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I was.
Yeah, you have to clench it. Yeah.
So I turned to go walk inside the gas station to use the restroom, and I sneezed not once but twice very aggressively, and I pissed all over myself. So I'm walking and I'm still peeing. I'm like, it is like, I can't stop it. It's already
done now,
started. Yeah. So I go to the bathroom for what reason? I don't know. I guess I think I'm going to suddenly dry the fuck out. But anyway, so I got to pull up my pants and my underwear, and it was like a wet bathing suit, just all the way up. Yeah. And I'm like, ugh. I get to work and I have to put on the scrubs of shame.
Now describe the scrubs of shame.
Well, their scrubs of shame are way nicer. They're actually navy blue.
Mhm.
Most scrubs of shame are light blue, like baby blue.
To mark you out in a crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had to wear the scrubs of shame. First time ever in my nursing career I've ever had to wear the scrubs of shame. And I had to wear the scrubs of shame with no underwear.
Mm.
Because, they were soaking wet.
Hmm.
So I can't find a patient belonging bag to put my wet pants in, so I put them in a vomit bag. Yep. Then the next morning when I come home, I bring it in like Darla, like I'm Finding Nemo. I'm up around that, like my wet bag.
Yeah.
And Jason's like, why the hell are you flinging it? And I'm like, it's fine. He's like, not in the house. Don't fling it in the house.
Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, put that shit in the water. You were like, oh, yeah, I'll wash it later. I'm like, no, put it in the fucking washer now.
No, I said I'm going to put it in the washer, but I was going to start it when I got up.
Yeah, which was, 9 hours later. I'm like, yeah, let's have piss-soaked clothes just sitting in the washer.
There's worse things. But anyway.
Yeah. But are you done with that story?
No.
Okay.
So I go to take a shower, and when, you skin your knees and, the water hits it, it stings.
Oh, yeah.
I do not know what the fuck they starched these pants with, but I was chafed in places that should never be chafed from the scrubs of shame.
I mean, they probably use the tears of the elderly.
Apparently, they were starchy AF, and they hurt.
Yeah.
Everything was chafed.
It's all on fire.
Yeah, and then the next night, I burnt my tit on the curling iron. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So it's been fun times.
Yeah. I mean, you were just accident prone is just your middle name.
Pretty much.
Now, I was going to bring up a story that coincides with the urination abomination. Okay. So if you remember correctly, years ago,
So worried.
Tim, Mom's
I told
partner.
that story
Have
on
you?
here.
Have you told that story?
I
don't know if you've told that story,
Yes,
but I'm going
I
to
did.
reiterate for all the listeners now. Is Tim essentially had the same issue but more extensive?
Of a bowel side.
Yeah.
Of a bowel nature.
Yeah, of a bowel nature. A movement to say the least was yeah. Anyways, so he he was a big guy, and he liked to eat a lot of the food that his Mexican crew members that worked for him.
And gas station food. The man loved gas station food.
Yeah, he would eat like...
Don't get me wrong, I do too, but I'm a little bit pickier than Tim
like,
was.
He would eat the spiciest shit, all this other stuff, like just absolutely absurd. This was the man that would like go and shit in porta pots like 7 times a day and didn't even care, right? This man is on his way home one day and decides, you know what, I need to stop and get gas. And then realizes when he stops to get gas that he has to go to the bathroom. So he prairie dogs it into the gas station. The only problem is he makes it to the drink aisle halfway back to the bathrooms and things cut loose and all of a sudden a Snickers bar rolls out of his fucking pant leg.
Do you remember him telling us that he just kicked it?
Yeah, kicked it underneath the drink stand. Underneath.
No, it was underneath the chocolates.
Oh, yeah. That too. Because once he popped the cork and the Snickers bar rolled.
Once you pop, you don't stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he was like a walking can of Nutella. I mean, it was everywhere. So he ends up having to, he doesn't even drive home. He drives to his mom and dad's house.
Who are elderly AF.
Yes. And it's like 40 degrees outside.
And he has her hose him down in the backyard with the garden hose.
Nude. Yes.
And they live in town.
In town, neighbors all over the place. This man did not give a fuck about anything.
Or anyone.
Yeah, he just did not care. And so that story kind of coincides with the leakage issue.
Well, speaking of leakage issues, I recently had a patient who was there for GI issues and had done the bowel prep and all that and was in the bathroom, and I was giving the oncoming nurse report, and I was telling her and that the patient had multiple bowel movements overnight. So she yells into the bathroom, "I bet you feel light as a feather." And I just went pale ghost white, and I just about started laughing.
But why?
Because, not that this is funny, but it's funny that that's the wording she chose.
Yeah.
Because said patient was probably every bit of 600 pounds.
Ooh.
And I was like, and she didn't know that. She hadn't seen him. And I was just like, I gotta go now.
Awkward.
Like, I'm so uncomfortable.
So what happened when she figured it out?
She just looked at me and goes, I don't ever say anything like that. I don't even know where that came from. Now I feel bad. And I was like, he probably didn't think anything about it, but
yeah, no, that's a good one.
I know. It made me giggle just because, like, I knew if that had been me, I would have just died right then and there.
Yeah.
Like, just melted into a puddle of
You would have said,
shit.
"Oh, I bet you feel like you're light as a feather," and you start walking in the room, and you're like, "Oh."
An hour later, when I go in to like check on my patient and do an assessment or whatever, I'm like, man, I really fucked up. That's my life right there.
God damn it. That's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things associated with your life. There's all kinds of shenanigans.
Very much so. Well, so this is like the worst time for us antisocial people because it's the holidays, everybody's shopping.
Yeah.
So we were going to go to a store yesterday, and I looked at Jason. There was too many people in the parking lot, and I said, we're not doing it.
Yeah, I had to make a circle around the parking lot twice to try and find a parking spot.
And I was
the
like,
second
I'm
time
done.
around, you were like, nope, I'm done.
So we went into another store, which was equally as busy, probably.
Well, I mean, we can list it off since they're going out of business. I mean,
Okay.
It's good old Big Lots.
Oh, which I hate that store. Jason loves it, though.
But you know what? Don't say you hate it, because when we actually finally went in there and took Mom with us, you were like, I don't know why we never come in
We
here.
found a few things. Maybe it's the clientele sometimes because they're very rude.
Yeah?
People cut you off. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. They don't give a shit in Big Lots.
So anyway, we were walking and they had this backgammon, like a real cool, like vintage looking backgammon game set.
Like multiple different versions of it
Yeah.
for the holidays and stuff.
So we were talking about it, and Jason's like, that's great, but it only comes in backgammon. And I said, yeah, I don't even know what that is. Like, I don't even know how to play that. I said, do you? And he goes, no.
Well, and I take that back because, like, honestly, my grandmother tried to teach me when I was little, and, like...
It just didn't work out.
I played it a few times, and I just never really got into it. I was like, hard pass.
So we were talking about, if you live in Indiana, you know how to play euchre. because that's like an Indiana thing. And neither one of us know how to play.
Nope.
But like my family, my parents played all the time with their friends. So I was telling Jason that, and I said, "What about you?" And he said, "Go ahead, Jason."
Yeah. You're gonna call me out on this?
Yep. Sure
Okay.
am.
Yeah. So you were asking about, did you play any card games with your parents when you were a kid or anything along those lines? And we were walking down a linens aisle. There was like bedding and all kinds of other stuff, and there was a ton of people, like, because the store's going out of business. Everything's like 70,
50% off.
50, 70, 80% off everything. We ended up buying some nice bedding. It was a good experience.
Some good thick blankets.
Yuck. But anyways, so there are people everywhere, and I mean within a couple feet of us. And I just look at you and just go, no. We didn't really play card games. My parents just drank a lot when I was a kid.
And everybody in that aisle
went
stopped,
dead
and they were
silent.
Like, slowly turned.
Yeah.
And stared at us, and I felt the heat was
on.
on.
And the funny thing is, I never addressed a single one of them. I just kept on about my business. I was like, whatever.
I did too, and that's it. We just kept going.
But obviously, that's not the case. Like, I was obviously joking around, just being ridiculous. Like,
and it was funny.
Yeah. Because, I'm just kind of that asshole. I like to get a rise out of people.
A shock. You like the shock value.
Yeah, I like to see or to hear or not hear when everybody goes silent and hear an asshole go,
A tiny squeak in the back.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. So that's our life.
No, that was good times. That was actually pretty funny.
It kind of reminds me of the other day. I got off work and Jason's like, "We're out of dog food. You're going to have to stop and get some." I'm like, I don't like to go anywhere after I get off work.
I know, and that's
I like
why
to
I
come
really
home.
appreciated it.
No, I know you did. That's not what I'm telling the listeners so they're aware. I really hate to go anywhere after work.
Mhm.
Like I hate it. And so I was like, okay. So I go to get it. I walked by the bakery. I saw a cake. I decided to get it too. This is all at like 8:30 in the morning.
Mhm.
I'm still in my work clothes. Then I got animal crackers. I got dog food and something else. So I go to check out in the self-checkout aisle, like lane, whatever. And my cart was too far in front of the guy who was coming up to check in out at the one next to me.
So you were being rude and blocking off.
But I wasn't trying to.
Yeah.
Like, because I was trying to grab the dog food. So the cart had rolled.
Right.
And I go, "I'm so sorry I'm in your way." And he goes, "No, it's okay. I'm just trying to think if I got everything I needed." He goes, "I always get or what do you say? I always get more than what I came in for." And I said, "Yeah, same story of my life." I said, "Just like this cake. I don't need it, but I decided I want it." And he goes, "Oh, okay." It got really awkward, so I hurried up and tried to check out and leave.
You're like, I gotta go.
I gotta go now.
Yeah, that's interesting. It just kind of like, if you go to the store and it's like you buy like baby oil and condoms and like cucumber, like the most ridiculous stuff.
Yeah. Like I got dog food, that cake. I got animal crackers and I got vanilla wafers. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I looked like I was having a party for my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's very possible that you were.
Yeah, you just never know about me, but it was funny.
Yeah, it was good times.
It really was. So I saw this thing on TikTok and I wanted to share it with you.
With me or with everybody?
Well, everybody, but I
okay.
hadn't told you yet.
Okay.
I came across this TikTok about a woman who did one of the Ancestry DNA kits. This I found very interesting with a friend of hers, just because she thought it sounded like fun. She had somebody reach out to her that was like, "Hey, I know this is weird. Can I talk to you? XYZ, your DNA came back positive or connected with somebody else's DNA in a cold case crime from like many years before." Talks to said person, and they were like, not a direct match, but a match.
Right.
So some things happened. They thought it was a scam. It wasn't a scam. Like the FBI really did reach out, whole 9 yards. Got her mom to swab, and she was a direct match. So it was this girl's grandma is connected in a crime from many, many years ago.
Oh, wow.
That she's never met. Excuse me. I'm like real snotty tonight.
Yeah, weather change.
Yeah. So yeah, it's still being investigated. They can't really talk about it, but I guess it is a big deal in their small town. It's the Baby Garnett case.
Baby Garnet case.
Yeah, and I haven't looked it up to see like what the crime was.
Yeah.
But I'm interested. I feel like has to do with a child, obviously. But
Yeah. Hence the baby
part.
Garnet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very,
Yep.
very possible.
Thank
Very
you,
possible.
Inspector Clouseau.
You're welcome. So, on a positive note, instead of like, DNA murders.
I really took it down there, didn't I?
Yep.
Took it down a notch.
Yeah. My go-kart is finished.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Mine's not.
Yeah, it is. I'm just adding a couple things to it for fun.
There's no roof still.
Oh, you want a roof?
You told me I needed one or I was going to fly out and die.
No, I did not.
And Tracy has been commenting like crazy that she's worried I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah, that's why, especially when I posted pictures of like mine,
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm not cutting her loose with that one. No.
I've already been cut loose with it though.
I know, and it scared the shit out of you. And
you
come.
didn't tell me that the gas was funky and the brakes didn't hardly work. Like, I feel like those are details that you should tell somebody.
I tried to tell you to take it easy when you took off.
I did, but I didn't know I was going to have to feather it. So when I finally tried to push it and didn't go, and tried to push it a little bit more and didn't go, and then I floored it, I didn't anticipate what happened.
Yeah, it launched you into the next county. Yeah.
Then I tried to slow down, and there were no brakes.
No, it has brakes. You were just going a little too fast, and you tried to take a corner a little too tightly and drove through the neighbor's yard.
I did.
Yeah, just popped a curb.
I just went boom, boom.
Yep. And I'm just standing there in the driveway like, yep, this is happening. This is
why our neighbors hate us.
Yeah, this is happening. That's why you got the single seater.
It's happening.
But anyways, mine is done.
Mm-hmm.
For now, anyways.
Yeah.
Yours is done.
Until you find something else that you want to add to it.
Yeah, or beef up or change. Just like with yours. Yeah. Like, what did I surprise you with that I need to install? You have a
horn?
train horn for your go-kart now.
A horn, that's right. I couldn't remember.
You have a train horn for your go-kart now that I need to wire up.
I kind of wish I had the Hispanic one.
I mean,
that's more fitting.
I got more switches available, so I can order that too.
Got more switches.
Yeah.
He's gonna nickel and dime me on Amazon, y'all, for these
No,
go-karts.
I'm not.
He's gonna drain me dry.
Oh, right. Okay.
Speaking of,
Hey, I work hard to have go-kart parts, okay?
I just work hard in general. You guys, if you're watching this, I have to show you something. I actually landed myself on a tabloid.
Yep. Take a break.
An actual tabloid.
Point it up there at the camera. Look at that. Look at that.
But I wasn't. So I was kind of more shocked because this is not the quote I was anticipating.
Yeah, read the headline quote right here.
Mystery woman sent my hubby racy pics of me. The culprit shocked us both.
Yeah.
How does that have to do anything with sleep shopping?
No.
So that kind of irritated me. But then the other thing was that I just noticed is this how they spell cozy in England?
Yeah, C-O-S-Y.
That is cozy, right? That is what that says.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't read it wrong.
Correct.
C-O-S-Y.
Yeah. Just like they use the metric system.
Well, I knew all that,
You know.
but I didn't realize.
I mean, it's like aluminium.
Like, on the cover, if this tells you how much of a tabloid it is, it says this. I put my husband and my lover on a sex rota. Is that like rotation? It's R-O-T-A.
I'm going to go with sure.
It's weird. Weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you asked anybody in high school who's most likely to land on a tabloid magazine, it may have actually been me.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you.
Yeah, I feel like it would have
Me,
been.
not so much.
No?
Like, no, I was definitely not the
tabloid person?
No.
But yet you married the tabloid person.
I know. Why? What
That's
is
a weird
that?
situation.
But they always say, like, opposites attract.
Right. Look at Bert and Leanne.
Yeah.
You're the Leanne to my Bert, let's be honest.
In some ways, yeah.
A lot of ways, because she's more the adult in that relationship, too.
Oh, for sure. for sure.
I like how you're like, oh, that's not even a question, honey.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not a question.
No.
I mean, I'm the organized one.
What did I say earlier today? And you're like, yep. And I was like, that hurt my feelings.
Oh, you were talking. We were shopping.
Selfish.
No, not selfish.
That's not the word I use.
I mean, someday. No, I'm just kidding.
Petty.
No, it was like dickish or something along those lines.
And he was like, yeah, I know. And I was like,
yeah. I was like, yeah, I know.
I can't believe you just like agreed.
I don't see why not. Like, I'm a dick.
He goes, we're 9 years in, Elissa. I think I already knew that a long time ago.
Almost
Damn.
10. Almost
Yeah.
10.
Almost 10. Not quite, but almost.
Yeah, almost 10 years in. I figured out very early on. You're an asshole. I'm an asshole. We get along great. So,
It happens.
yeah.
Guys, we also wanted to talk to you about our schedule, like
Mhm.
our airing schedule. I think we might do one more episode
Yep.
and then take a small break.
For the
Which-
holidays.
yeah, we had
take
kinda
a few
talked
weeks
about-
off, Yep.
And then I think after the holidays, we want to do a holiday episode with all of our friends because schedules.
Yeah, we've kind of talked a little bit, and I think on this short of notice, I think trying to get
Because all of them
Like-
have a ton of kids.
yeah, like here, let's be honest, like Tommy T-Rex has to be on it.
He's got 5 kids.
His only time available is like
Every other weekend.
The middle of December, but then like nobody else is going to be available.
Yeah.
So we really want to try and piece it together well ahead of time where we can get everybody together. We want to make it really big. We want to, be able to have a bunch of people and put it in the big space, get a fire going down in the living room and
Yeah.
just like have this really cozy, fun experience with everybody.
So we talked about it. So we wanted to let you guys know that it is something that we want to have happen.
yes.
It just probably won't happen until after the holidays
Yeah.
because of scheduling.
Yep. So we'll probably do it sometime.
Tommy has 5 kids. Jeremiah has 6
Yep.
kids. Mike has 3 kids.
Well, between Mike and Kate, yeah, they
3,
have
4, 5.
Yeah.
5 or 6 kids too.
yeah, something like that. Well, I mean, he's a grandpa too, so
And I'm a grandpa.
yeah. So
I'm also a grandma. I like old things. I
Yeah.
like small things. I like trinkets.
well, thankfully, it's just along those lines. And,
I like wallpaper.
our kid hasn't reproduced as of
Ugh,
yet.
gross. I hope not.
Yeah, he'll be 18.
Next month.
Yeah,
Can you believe that?
less than a month away, he'll be 18.
He will literally be a man-child man.
Yeah, and
Instead
we
of
can
just a man-child.
and we can say his name at that point in time.
if he wants us to.
I know. I'm just.
If
messing.
not, that's okay too. I'm sure having me as a parent is not always sunshine and roses.
Yeah, we're a little all over the place.
We're a little wild.
Yeah.
Compared to a lot of the parents.
But I think that makes us kind of the fun parents, though, for the most part. I think we would be the fun parents.
Remember that time I had the Mustang, the stick shift?
Yeah, the one you wrecked.
Whoa. I never wrecked it. I tried to pull it into the garage. It had a very large nose, and Brenda misdirected me. And I scraped the garage. There was no wreck. I scraped.
There was a crease down the side of the car.
I called you sobbing.
I know. But you still wrecked it.
Well,
I mean,
clearly I'm still angry I'm angry at you for calling it a wreck. I'm not happy with you.
I mean, it got wrecked. It was a crease along the side with paint transfer and everything. Like, it's okay. Shit happens. I wasn't even mad about it.
It was not a wreck. Anyway.
It was an accident.
Yeah, not a wreck. I was yelling so loud obscenities that the neighbors from 2 miles away came running to the house.
Yeah.
Anyway, so remember when I had to go pick up the man-child at practice?
Mm-hmm. At football practice, yep.
And so everywhere I went in this thing on accident, I would peel out.
Because this, I don't know if we've ever really talked about the Mustang that we had
I don't
before.
know if we did.
But it was a 2006, one of the cool body styles, but it had been built up by a buddy of mine that I ended up buying.
Who was a
from.
racer.
Yeah, he was a race car guy. I mean, this thing was, 600 plus horsepower. I mean, it was a drag car.
Yeah, it was fast as fuck.
Yeah, it was stupid how fast it was.
And he let me loose with it.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I didn't do anything but the dent.
I know.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm just clarifying for those at home.
like we may have, if we would have kept it longer, we would have had to replace the rear tires a lot sooner.
Yeah, that's true too.
But-
I'm not gonna disagree with you, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I mean, it essentially had a racing clutch in it that you had to be about 4,000 RPM
before you could let it off.
Otherwise, it would kill it.
Right. So even if you let it off easy, you peeled out.
Yeah, you were jumping
couldn't
it,
help. So I was at the elementary school picking the man-child up, and I peeled out of that parking lot, and oh boy, remember the next practice, the man-child was like, yeah, all the moms are not happy.
Yeah, fuck them bitches.
Yeah, they didn't speak to me anyway with all my tattoos.
Well, and that was the weird thing for where we lived. You know, it was a small little country town, little country school. You know, they were big into sports and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, if you were not born and raised in this town,
Born and bred.
I mean, fucking level of elitism was stupid. I had never
For a
seen
bunch
anything.
of hillbillies.
Yeah.
No offense, I grew up in the middle, literally, of nowhere. Like in Center Point, Bowling Green, Indiana. Like literally middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I'm allowed to say that. But for a town of hillbillies, I have never seen such entitled, rude people in my entire life. To the point we almost had the cops called on us. I think we've talked about that before.
No. What is the football field where I almost got in a fist fight with the
cop.
With the cop that
quote
was a
unquote
coach.
cop.
Yeah. Or a ref or whatever.
Over something so dumb.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to puff up.
Yeah.
And so at that point, we had lived, when the man-child was in middle school, we'd lived there 4 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years, something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
And we were at a football game, and somebody was like, those are the new people. Bitch, after 5 years, I don't think we're the new people anymore.
Yeah, I get it after 8 months,
maybe
year.
a year even. Like,
sure.
just rude.
But it's like, we're the new people. Fuck you. Your kids stayed over at our house.
Yeah,
like,
but we're the new people.
Yeah. Yeah, dumb shit.
Yeah. Wow, that really went off on a tangent there.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever talked about,
your brush with the law.
Oh, no, there was no brush. There was no brush.
No, you were fixing to catch a charge, though, until I got involved. And
Well-
thank God I just happened to know the person.
I would have caught a charge, but he wouldn't have been the one arresting me.
No. And I just happened to know the guy who was running said Fields.
Yeah, you knew the guy that was running said
Yeah.
Fields. Tim
Yes.
also was close personal friends with the person
owner.
that owned, as well as the standing sheriff of the county, and was like, tell your boy to back off because he's being
Called him.
Yeah, literally
and
called him.
Said, you need to tell your man to stand down. Like, this is about to get ugly, and he's not ready.
Yeah.
And Tim even said, I'll join in. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we'll both go to jail. Fuck that.
And I got the owner involved, and I was like, look, this is what's happening. He came out, and he squashed it real fast.
Yeah, like it was just so stupid.
And the other guy was in the wrong.
Yeah.
100%. We're super easy to get along with. But when you start being like, well, I'm a cop, or I'm this, and I'm going to make sure you get arrested, like, he also said, oh, I'll have everybody watching for you, or something like that. And I'm like, ooh.
Well, it probably really pissed him off when I looked at him and I said, that's fine because I know where you live.
That's also true.
And he just kind of looked at me like freakishly like scared. And I was just like, yeah, shut
And
up.
I go, we're walking away now. Let's go.
Yeah, time to go.
So there's that. Our small town little.
I'm so glad we don't live in a place like that anymore.
Me too.
Like it was toxic.
Like, let's talk about this. Like, it's not anything I had anticipated talking about on the podcast. But so Jason and I were recently actually talking about how crazy, like, your priorities shift the older you get.
Yes.
And
it doesn't even necessarily have to be associated with age. I mean, it could be a life experience once you experience certain things and certain lifestyles or whatever.
And again,
things
this may not
change.
be everybody's point of view, but for us, this is what's changed. So the home that we currently live in is very big. It's very beautiful. Like, that's not to boast. It's just facts on facts.
Yeah.
Like, when we bought the house, we had been having a ton of get-togethers, friends, family, all kinds of stuff up to that point.
Right.
Bought the house. Life changed. Some things happened. We don't have as many friends over anymore, which that's okay.
Yeah.
Don't have family over as much anymore. Lots of people have since passed, whatever. Some people don't even talk to us anymore. That shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
So, like, our goals and our not outcome, our view of
Our
things.
outlook,
Yeah, outlook.
Yeah.
I couldn't, outview is what I kept trying to say.
That's
Outlook
cool.
has
Outview
changed.
works too. It works too.
Has
Ulysses'
changed.
word of the episode.
Outview. he recently sent me a trailer.
Now, preface this. It wasn't like just a regular single wide trailer.
I'm going. Let me hold on.
Okay.
You didn't let me finish.
All right.
Recently sent me a trailer, and we were looking at it, and it's absolutely beautiful. But it's not that there's anything wrong with mobile homes.
No, of course not.
It's a different type of trailer. It's like made with metal, like what? It's got like
it's a
metal
true
gauge reinforced roof.
And it's got a true stud wall construction. Like it's really a double wide
on steroids because it's got oak cabinets. It's got regular drywall. It has
tile shower,
vaulted ceiling, beautiful vaulted ceilings.
Yeah.
It's not big, but it's big for a double wide.
2,500 square feet.
Yeah,
for a double wide.
Nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah.
And we got to talking, and I said, I have turned a corner in my life at some point where I would rather buy a bunch of land and set something like that I've paid cash for, because they're not stupid expensive.
I mean, less than $100,000 typically.
Pay cash for it, and then almost all my bills are just paid.
Yeah.
Like, I could actually retire on time. Hell, I could cut down my hours at work if I wanted to. Like, so many things could open up. If we wanted to travel more, we could.
Yep.
If we wanted to hold on to said land until we were ready to retire and sold some of it off, put it towards our retirement, like, all those things appreciate.
Yeah.
Like, that would be the smartest plan going forward.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because if you think about it, like, so many people are tied to the rat race of, being tied to things, being, locked into, I have to pay for this, and I have this bill, and I have this expense, and all this
I
other
really
stuff.
think that the whole American dream has really, really clouds people's judgment and trajectories, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Yeah. Because everybody has that American dream of, I want to be successful, and
I want to own my own home.
Yeah, and I want to do all these other things. And everybody's view of success is different. Than everyone else's. For me, years ago, my view of success was to obviously, be better off at a younger age than my parents were, and own my own home before my parents did. That age, that age timeline. Like, I had specific goals that were my American dream that I wanted, that were important to me. But then as time, went on, you and I, our goal was, we want a bigger house so we can entertain. We want it to be nicer. We don't want as many projects. We want all this other stuff. So we spent the extra money and we bought this house, right? And now we've gotten to that point where life has shifted again. And like, now our dream is more the peace, the quiet, I don't want to say isolation. Isolation is kind of a bad word, but isolation.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah, where we can just kind of go home.
We kind of want to do our own thing.
Away.
If we want to get in a go-kart at 9 o'clock at night, we're not worried about our neighbors or, whatever the case may be.
Shoot our guns or practice or, be in the music studio.
Right.
Or, whatever it might be, and make noise and live our life and enjoy the things
and not
we
care.
enjoy.
Yeah, and not really care about bothering other people either.
Right. Because we're not complete assholes. We do kind of give a shit for the most part.
We do. Also, I love animals. I would love to have some animals, and I can't do that unless we have land.
Yeah.
But so that's just kind of, we were talking about how our point of view has shifted on that. And like, if we ever wanted to buy another house in another state, like, we wouldn't have to wait for one to sell to buy the other. You know what I mean? Like, because almost everything would be paid for.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing is, like, I thought about that more, and we could essentially turn, whatever property we would have here in Indiana into like an Airbnb or
or something
like a little
that.
mini farm or something along those lines. And we could do those other things, and we could travel, and we could go other places.
Because our big goal anyway, for no matter where we live or whatever kind of structure it is, because we've even talked about making the container homes.
Yeah.
I mean, because those are...
I can buy a 40-foot container for $2,500.
Right, and insulate it and do whatever we want to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a far-fetched goal either. Like, something we've talked about doing and paying a lot for that out of pocket and not having a mortgage.
Yeah.
I guess, so to speak.
Mortgage the land or a half the
Yes.
cost of the land,
Yeah.
and then just go out and pay cash for a bunch of containers and start
Right,
welding
and just start
grinding
making
and,
it.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is, like, we could make it something really cool like that too. Like
Mhm.
we're not married to one specific idea, but the general idea of being fairly debt free
Mhm.
is our goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the kind of lifestyle, I look forward to living, because I think our goal has always been to kind of retire by the time we hit 50-ish.
Yes. Because we want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
We work so hard. So many people work so hard to get to retirement,
Yeah.
retire, and then they get sick and die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they're so broken by the time they get there, they can't even enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah, they can't climb a flight of stairs at 62 years
Right.
old.
I
or,
don't want that.
Yeah, no, I don't want that either. Like, I want to be able to, because I would think this is kind of and we had touched on this earlier, this is kind of an off topic, but, if eventually the man child were to get married and to have a family and do all those other things, like, I want to be able to, like, experience our grandkids at some point in time down the road, and not, be all like hunched over in a fucking wheelchair and about to die.
And not still having to work.
Yeah.
Into our late 60s because we have to.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
That's a big, I'm not going to lie, like that's a big drawing point.
Mm-hmm.
Like to get to that point in our life.
Yeah. And I think we're close. And I think that hopefully over the next year we can start putting some things in place and, just kind of go to town on it and move forward. I think that would be fun. I think it would be exciting. Our next adventure.
It's a whole new adventure.
I know. And then I would have to build a new studio.
That's the other thing.
Have to start from scratch.
Is if we're going to keep doing this, I know you know this, but if we're going to keep doing this, I want a dedicated studio.
Yeah.
Not that I mind and not that people care that they're coming through our house to come up to our studio.
Yeah.
But I want a separate building. I think that would be very nice. Or separate, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
area.
well, and we had talked about having like a separate outbuilding where, not only would it be the podcast studio, but have the recording studio side of things. And you could have a dedicated craft space. We could have a shop space. Like, we could have all those things and have our house, have our hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
And it be in the same place,
but different
not
areas.
Connected.
Yes, and I like that very much.
Yeah.
I think that, people who work from home, I think just like mom, I think it's so important to have a separate office space and room space, which she doesn't now, which that was her choosing.
Yep.
But for me, that's important.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. And I think that in time and learning, we learned a lot with this house and what we like and what we don't like and what the next phase is going to be and what
and where the square footage needs to be and where it doesn't need to be. And
yes, for sure. So I think that that'll be, kind of factored into our how we build, how we do things going forward. So yeah, should be exciting.
Never thought I'd be the queen of your double wide, but here we are.
And what's interesting is when we first got together, if you remember, we started looking at kind of like downsizing the house that we were in to kind of save costs and whatnot, because you weren't working at the time for health reasons and whatnot. And I had presented like a couple of nice land-based properties that had like decent double wides on them, stuff like that, modular home. And you were like, nope, I'll never live in one. I'll never live in one. I can't do it. And like you were adamant about it. So when I brought this up previously, I think a couple of years ago, and you were like, it depends on what it looks like. And I was like, okay. And then now, like I sent you the one that was like super nice and you were like, oh, I'm in. So it just goes to show,
different season of life where it's no longer about having a big fancy home. Like, I don't care. I don't even have fucking people come over here to see my house. Like, that's what kills me is my house is beautiful. Our house is beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's decorated semi-quirky in some areas, but that's who we are. That's who I am, and it's our home.
Yeah.
But we don't even have people who come over to enjoy the home.
Right.
And so there's so many areas of this house that we don't even use. Like, it just seems so dumb.
Like the bourbon room that we have set up, like it's absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And it's fun to hang out in there.
And full of bourbon.
I literally smoked the first cigar in there.
After vacation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like a couple of months ago, a month ago, for the first time since we've lived in this house.
In over 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it was just like I don't necessarily know if I want to do that or not. And then finally I was like, fuck it. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
So it's
and we have an air purifier in there and everything
to
make it so it doesn't smell.
Yeah. So it's just, you find out very quickly that what you think you want, you don't necessarily need or want.
Right. And so, you're talking about having a house before your parents and stuff.
Mhm.
I bought my first home when I was 23 with my ex-husband. And obviously things went south and that didn't work out. But I think by me owning a home at such a young age and already going through that and hitting that milestone, it changed my outlook the older I got, like in my mid-20s
Right.
and early 30s, that it wasn't as big of a deal anymore to me personally, whether I owned a home or not.
Yeah. So, a little sidebar here,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll wrap up. We can now literally say that was decades ago.
Why would you even?
Because it just hit me.
Somebody posted something about us watching, our age group watching Home Alone now is the equivalent of when Home Alone came out, watching a movie from 1946. And that hit me in the feels.
Yeah.
In the fucking feels. And I was like, I am a grandma.
Like literally decades. It's been decades. Like who can...
Do you know I've had my nose ring longer than I haven't had my nose ring?
Decades.
Shut up, man. Not yet. Just decade.
Decade.
Almost decades, but not quite there.
Yeah, almost decades. So this coming year, when the big 4-0 happens for both
Shut
of
your
us.
mouth. Why are you telling people my business, bro?
What does it matter?
That's mine, though.
Well, that's mine, too.
No, it's not.
Oh, no. So you're going to be 31 for the 9th time.
Oh, well, you've done ruined that now.
I'm just...
That's the big surprise, everybody.
Yeah, big 4-0. Ooh, we're going to have to do some kind of crazy podcast adventure for our 40th.
Is this like a joint birthday party shit? Because I'm not here for it. I like
No,
my
no,
own
no.
separate birthday party. You know what
no,
I mean?
your own fucking birthday month. That's what you like.
Well, yeah, but nobody celebrates it but me
Well, I try to.
on my actual birthday. But anyway, go ahead. That's the truth, and you know it.
Not really, because we
Now
went out to lunch this past year.
listen. Look at Linda.
Oh, look at Linda.
You got a 40th birthday present ticket. I like diamonds. I wear a size 6 straight out the case. Also, it's our 10-year wedding anniversary, so that's also diamonds, by the way. That's the traditional gift. Again, I wear size 6. Size 3 carats and emerald or oval cut, sir. The look I'm getting. I can't with you.
Oh, and the people can see it.
They can hear it.
Like just, I'm the captain now.
I did that one time at work. I said, I'm the captain now, and didn't go over real well.
Probably not.
And that's
Because you probably did it to a fucking administrator or a doctor. Yeah.
I did.
And they probably looked at you and said, "You're lucky I don't fire you."
They looked at me and go, and walked away, though. And I was like, ooh, that didn't, and I literally said, ooh, that didn't go well.
But I'm still the captain. They walked away.
I still won. I get away. We talked about this. I know we're supposed to wrap, but we recently talked about this.
Yeah.
About I say things.
You get away with fucking
but
everything.
I don't do it on purpose. I
Right.
truly don't say some things on purpose that just, bloop, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to lose my job now.
Yeah.
And Jason's like, well, it's because you say it so innocently, people know you're not doing it to be mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the whole, somebody would say something like if you've told me before that you've been like helping a black family or something like that, and you'll joke around and, and say something like where they'll comment and you'll be like, oh, honey, I'm white, but I'm not that white.
Yes. They asked me if I knew who Lizzo was.
Right. But my thing is that doesn't come across in a negative connotation. It doesn't come across as like racist or anything along those lines, but it's something that's for lack of a better term, kind of that off-color joke.
It is, but it's not meant like that at all. And with the world we live in and such like cancel culture, I am very, very grateful, but very surprised.
Yeah, everybody's way too fucking
Because
sensitive.
I said, no, it's been a while, but I said, you're free white and over 21. And she was definitely not white. And
you said that.
I said,
yeah.
I said, I'm so sorry. That's not what. And she was like, it's okay, honey. And she giggled. And I was like,
yeah, we're okay.
We're fine. But it's like, I just don't think sometimes that growing up So growing up with my grandma, I have a lot of old sayings,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of them.
Yeah.
That has just stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I get commented on all the time. I'll say something like, sorry, my hands are cold. Or my hands are cold, warm heart. And like, you can tell I was raised by my grandma.
Right. Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I got.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think this episode was a good episode.
Yeah. Hopefully
a lot
you guys,
of fun.
hopefully you guys have noticed, like, us taking a break has been really good for us,
Mhm.
just because our schedules with work has changed and there just wasn't enough time between episodes to really have a life.
I mean, my work has been big in the community as of late with the holidays coming and
Mine's
all
just
kinds
been
of
busy.
events. And yeah, so I'm all over the place. You're all over the place. But I think that also allows us the time to have some different experiences that we can talk about and share that are funny.
Well,
and,
you and I have actually had time with each other recently, which hadn't been happening because of our work schedules
Yeah.
and sleep schedules. So I think, like, just so you guys know, like, we miss you, but this has been good for us.
Yep. So with that being said, we're going to do one more. This is episode number 34 that's getting ready to come out.
And then it'll be 35.
It'll be 35, and then we're going to wait until after the first of the year to come back.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to say something, if anybody wants to try and plan a time to come on or
Speak now.
yeah, speak now.
Or forever hold your peace.
Well, don't forever hold your peace.
Maybe
'cause-
hold your peace till the beginning of the year.
Yeah, just the beginning of the year. But we honestly would like to schedule some of our fans and our friends and things like that, going into next year. Because even though episodes may not release until, beginning, middle of, January or something along those lines, it's not to say that we won't necessarily record one and hang out with somebody.
And also, this gives you guys some time maybe to think about something that you want us to maybe talk about or talk more about, or just ideas in general. Because, I mean,
Questions
we're only
you
two
have.
people here.
Yeah, questions you have for us on our
Questions,
life or
comments,
life experiences.
concerns.
Yeah. Suggested words of the episode. All kinds of fun stuff. But we do appreciate all the continued support, the follows, the likes, the shares, the subscribers on YouTube. We've had some fun on TikTok. We've had some fun, on all the different social media platforms, and just been
We're doing better about it, even though we're old people.
Yeah. I've, our posting has tapered off quite a bit, but
You're welcome, everybody.
No, I think I'm going to get back into it because if we're not going to be releasing episodes, I got to post more.
I'm sorry,
often.
guys.
I got to post.
I take
more
that
often.
back.
Especially as we do more like holiday stuff and take more pictures and, because we want to keep everybody involved with us.
Right. And you do owe the listeners a photograph of you in your bunny suit from A Christmas Story. Oh.
Okay. Just remember, I know where you sleep. It's fine.
Oh, I don't care. You can shave my head off. You know I've already done that. I don't care.
I know.
Pull Britney Spears 2007.
And you know why I won't do that is because of the 6 months of bitching after the fact. I'm in this weird place where my hair hasn't grown out, and it's horrible. I hate this.
Is that your impression of me?
Well, it's just an impression in general. It's not necessarily an impression of you.
You're a dick.
I know.
All right, with that, guys, we're out.
All right,
Bye.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Make sure to share and like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/The Adventures of E, and on YouTube at www.youtube.com/@Adventures of E. See you next time.